hit a better stand. No, hold on, I can use this. There we go. I don't know why I didn't use that from the beginning. Let me get my. All right, y'all. Hey, y'all. It's your favorite herbalist, Miss She, and I'm here again for another installment of Mystical Herbs. Okay. So before we get started, y'all already know the drill. I have to let you all know that I am not a doctor, and all the information that I'm giving you all is based on my personal research and experience. Okay. Conditions, I do highly recommend that you talk to a doctor or a licensed or a certified holistic practitioner, such as yourself, as your girl, before you begin any type of herbal regimen, just to make sure that anything that you're doing is not going to interact with the medications that you're currently taking. Okay. So tonight, so the whole thing, guys, I don't know if you saw the title, it's called Mystical Herbs. As you know, I love to have to develop a relationship, and that's some with the actual plant. That's something I have done. That's something I have learned throughout my time being a herbalist. So you have to get to know your herbs. And herbs can do so much for us, okay? It's not just when it comes to healing. Hey, hey, Monica. It's not just when it comes to healing, but it also when it comes to taking care of your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. They could come um, in handy for all of those things. I also want to keep in mind I like to talk about those things in a lot of the herbs, especially when I do these other segments. I love to do them with edible herbs. The reason why, because if you think about herbs just not in a health wise, but also in a spiritual sense, when you're eating them, when you're putting your meals together, that is something that is going to also eating with I call it eating with intention. Okay, so that's one of my favorite things. So, all right. So I do want to make sure I do say this clearly that this is a gentle space. Okay. Mystical does not mean dark. It does not mean evil. It simply means that there is more happening beneath the surface than we're generally taught to notice. So every culture has always known this. Plants, breath, intention, memory. These aren't new ideas. They're just today just is I'm sorry. Talking too fast. Okay. All right. So today isn't about spells or superstitions. Okay. It's about relearning how to be in a relationship with the plants, with the same plants that you eat, and that you grew up around, that you use, that you may have even seen elders use, but without an explanation. You don't necessarily have to believe anything. You don't have to perform anything. Just be curious. And like I put in the thing, just become curious and leave grounded. Today, what I'm going to be teaching you is nothing extra. It's just ancestral plant wisdom, sensory awareness, intention, plus ritual as mindfulness. All right. So everything we're doing here today is going to be understood as intentional self care. All right. So in the herbs that we're going to actually, I think I'm gonna just do that at the end instead. All right, so the first herbs that we're going to talk about, and I actually have the fresh version of them because these are my preferences when it comes to those types of herbs. With these in particular, the first one, and I know we've all, if you cook, if you come in, I only want to say, um, a household of color. I don't want to say black people, but if you're a household of color, which means that we're cooking with a whole lot of flavor, a whole lot of love, you're going to see that you're going to see bay leaf. You're going to always put bay leaf, especially in your foods that you're storing. Um, Especially in the Caribbean, you used to see a lot of bay leaves. I remember my stepmom, she has a friend with a tree, and we are able to always get fresh bay leaves, and they taste so much better than when you just put in the dry one in there. I mean, if that's what you have access to, then by all means use it. But these are fresh. All right. So now with a lot of things when it comes to the intention, all of that, I'm going to show you how you can use that and what you can do with your bay leaves. So bay leaf, this is something that's basic, I mean, that pretty common, especially if you cook. Bay leaves, what you might see when it's using in the spiritual sense or spiritual access aspect of it, you might hear it referred to as bay laurel, as opposed to just bay leaf. But it's the same exact thing. It's just I feel like a lot of times what I have learned in my experience is just depends on what you want to use it or how you're using it is how it's being named. Because there was sometimes that I would go and buy different herbs thinking it was something else, and I get it, and I'm like, hey, this is the same thing as, especially on the spiritual side. So I don't want you to want to be clear that it's the same thing. Bay leaf, bay laurel is the same thing. The essential oil is the same thing. Okay. So with that, bay leaves is actually used a lot for protection and purification. So when it's a protective quality, it's associated a lot with the god Apollo in the Greek pantheon. Bay leaves is used in protective rituals for health. Some believe that it can actually ward off lightning or evil spirits, making it suitable for healing spaces. But within the hoodoo tradition, or like you might see like the southern black, you might hear call it root work or whatever. It's actually used as cleanse spaces of negative energy, breaking curses, and to invite a positive outcome. And it's also when it's used in the hoodoo aspect of it, you would likely see that it's used in conjunction with a biblical spirit scripture or a psalm. Okay. Um, Now, also, you will see that bay leaf can be used as manifestation as focus and intention. And the common practice of that is I have to stop saying is okay. So a common practice of that is that it involves writing your wish or your prayer on a leaf, okay, and then you can burn it, basically sending the desires to the universe or or whatever deities that you're symbolizing glory as well as achievement. Then also, bay leaf is also used when it comes to your dreams. I like to also refer to dreams as your subconscious clarity, because sometimes I just think sometimes it just kind of, I just like it's just a subconscious clarity because sometimes you go to sleep on something and you wake up and you have a greater understanding of it. More than it is just always just about the actual dream work. But it also is used to enhance intuition. It attracts prophetic dreams, manifesting your intentions. Like I was saying, you could write it down. Um, or even sometimes you could, in there, if you don't burn it, you could place it under your pillow. Um, when you want to go into like the ancient beliefs and its power for protection, okay, clarity, and then connecting with divine messages. You also see that as I was saying, the Greek pantheon, as well as more modern, as well as the um, Christian folklore as well. All right. So commonly that you will see when it comes to dream work and bay leaves, you'll write whatever it is that you want. You write it down on your leaf, and then you could put it under your pillow, and then that's how it used to enhance your dreams. Um, so it goes to enhance your dreams, and you could go ahead, put your desire, your hope, your wish. You will put it on your bay leaf. You will visualize it as it's real. As you would say, you can have that mental picture, believes that's faith, believing things that you have no proof of. So, and that's what you do. You write it down on your bay leaf, and you can put it under your put it under your pillow um, before you go to sleep. Or if you choose to burn it. Now, this is a fresh one, so it'll take a little bit more to burn it. But you are able to, if you were to dry it, let it just sit for a couple days. But you could still do it fresh; it doesn't matter. But you would still write your intention on the leaf, but instead of putting it under your pillow, what you would do is you would burn it. Okay, and then you would also inhale the smoke and then allow those ashes to disperse to kind of symbolize sending your request out into the universe, and then also to send your request out into the universe, inviting focused dreams. Also, historically, bay leaf was also used in sick rooms as a respiratory aid because the steam from bay leaf or even the smoke, when inhaled, can clear congestion. And I want to mention that too. I was telling someone before about a herb that was saying that it would help them help their lungs and it would clear congestion. And when I told them that, they came back. They're like, it just had me coughing like crazy. I'm like, well, that's how you clear congestion, okay? So that does mean you will cough, all right? So that's what I said. It will help that to clear congestion. Also, the aromatic, the smell of it um it's calming. It's kept in room in clothing, like in your closets, okay, or rooms to freshen the air, or to like to keep bad odors away, okay. And the scent is also known to reduce stress as well as fatigue. Not only with that, so with that, I'm saying it also goes into it. It supports your nervous system. All right, it has digestive aids that has because it has enzymes that help break down the proteins. We also gonna is anti-inflammatory and also used in pain relief because it has compounds that help reduce inflammation and potentially relieving arthritis as well as muscle pain. Okay. Um, Also, it has flavonoids in it that helps to lower cholesterol and improve your circulation. It also has evidence that suggests it can help regulate your blood sugar. When I was saying this from before, the steam, you can use that. Actually, if you don't use the actual leaf, you can always use the essential oil as well, and also to relieve for sinus relief, as congestion, and to fight off respiratory infections as well. So if you don't have the actual herb, you can use the essential oil because the essential oil comes from the plant. So it's also very it has compounds that also help produce calmness. Okay, it also contains it's nutrient rich as well. It helps contain. I mean, it contains vitamins A and C and minerals like iron, calcium, and magnesium. So this is daily. Okay, this is something that we use all the time for food that you will see it normally eat in your food, but it can also be has other uses as well. The next herb we are going to discuss is this one, rosemary. See, this is fresh rosemary. I actually really do like the smell of rosemary. Okay, it does. All right, so rosemary. So now with this one, it's used for memory healing. Okay, so it I love the way it smells. All right, so it inhibits the breakdown of a neurotransmitter that's vital for learning, memory, and nerve cell communication. So it does allow you to recall, to have better recollection, as well as focus. It's used in spiritual cleansing as well because you could burn it as incense. It also has the antimicrobial smoke that comes when you burn it. It's also used to purify space as well as for spiritual protection and clearing of the negative energy. So just like sage, it cleanses the area, it cleanses the actual environment around you, which is going to lead to you feeling better. Okay, so a lot of this stuff is not hocus pocus. It's logic. All right. Okay. It's also, like I said that the air purification, The aromatic compounds help purify the air, creating a clearer, more focused environment. Studies also have shown that inhaling rosemary scents has been shown to improve your memory, task performance, and boost your cognitive function, with some research even linking it to potential protection against neurodegenerative conditions. So it won't hurt. It's just rosemary, right? All right. So now rosemary as well, because we're going to talk about. It also has antimicrobial as well as anti-inflammatory, and basically what that just means is that it has antioxidants, antioxidants and anti-inflammatory components that help protect brain cells from damage. But also with the supporting research showing promise for conditions like anxiety, depression, again, and neurodegenerative diseases. So again, rosemary. These that's one of again, I'm probably going to say this every installment. That is one of the my favorite thing when it comes to herbs and plants, that they aid us in so many different ways. It's truly amazing, especially if you believe in God. It said nothing that God created was for just anything, just for shits and giggles. So that's the same thing, like how I'm feeling when it comes to the earth. Like it's not just to eat. It's not just that. That's when you're eating, your food is supposed to make you feel better. So it's just another little side note why I love herbs so much. Okay. Also, it helps when again with the respiratory relief. So it's used to treat bronchitis and congestion because it helps clear the pathways. Extracts show antispasm, pain relieving, and anxiety reducing properties, supporting overall nervous system health, brain and energy. It may enhance your memory, concentration, and cognitive performance, possibly by increasing levels. So you have your stress and mood. Inhalation can lower the stress hormones, which is cortisol, and anxiety, potentially acting as an antidepressant. Okay. All right. I'm having this also a digestive aid, pain relief. I have hair growth as well because you do see a lot of times with rosemary oil used in hair products because it's good for your scalp. It's not personally good for my scalp for whatever reason. It makes my scalp itch, so I don't use it in my hair. But I do use it on my skin because it helps improve the suppleness of your skin, clears pores, maintains your hydration due to its astringent and antioxidant properties. Okay, and it also helps improve pore circulation. All right. So for when it comes to what you can do when it comes to using the rosemary as well as the bay leaf in mystical ways, this is what you can do. I'm going to give you a couple. That's what I had at the beginning because I was supposed to have some people come in person. That's going to be an activity, but we could just do it here. All right. So what you can do is, just to tell you again, you could take. No, I already go over that, so we're not going to do that again. So when y'all get your own sage, this one I'm going to do. This one is one of my favorites, okay? And this is the one I do use as well because it does help, okay? It does help, especially when it comes to sleep. So I have it for protection in the dream session. Just for a little side note, when it comes to you using things, if this isn't a rule of thumb, but in many cases, if it's used for protection, if you can use it for protection, you can also use it for getting rid of negativity. Okay, if it makes sense. So, so this is a protection and dream statutes. All right, so this is right here. You can use. You can use actually both of them. So you can use a bay leaf and rosemary. Now, if you want to just add a little extra to it, you can have like a little bit of frankincense resin. But you would take this. Make sure you would take this, and then you can put it in like a little small muslin, one of those little organza bags, and write your word or a symbol on the bay leaf for protection, clarity, peace, whatever it is that you want. And then you want to hold that sachet to set your intention. What is it that you wanted to do? Then you take it out and then you put it under your pillow. You could keep it in your purse in your car, put it hanging in your doorway. So then that way it's always with you, okay? And that is a way that you can make like a little, something out of the bay leaf as well as the rosemary. All right. Also, oh, that's what I was going to say because I was reminded of my mother-in-law. Um, she would always say, calling things into order when it comes into prayer, right? So she would say, and I was just like, okay, I get it, whatever, but I didn't really get it. So she would say, you have to call things into order to make things be right. Okay. She would say that when you, let's say if your knee hurts, you're going to pray for your knee, but you're going to pray also for the ligaments, the joints. So everything that the knee is supposed to do, the way that causes it to function, we want that to call that into order to make it work. And that's what she would do. And she would always call order to so many different things. I'm like, but now what I see, that's what she calls order is setting intention. So if I know, and it's something that I do with my herbs, even when I'm drinking tea, when I'm making my food, I call it into order, or what I say, I set an intention for it. So if I know I'm putting something in my tea, or if I say for this, I know if I'm going to use this for my mental clarity and focus, I'm going to say I'm adding this rosemary because I want this. This is what this rosemary's. This is your assignment, rosemary. All right. In this day, this is what I want you to do, and this is in this time and moment. This is what I need you to do, and that's what I tell my herb. That's what I tell the rosemary to do. Same thing with the bay leaf. If you're supposed to bring me prosperity, you're supposed to bring me peace, that is what I'm going to say that you're going to do. So when I'm setting my intention, when I'm creating my bundles, when I'm creating my pockets, whatever it is that I'm doing, that is the whole intention and the purpose of it is to make sure that we're not just doing things for the sake of doing it. Like we were saying, like I've been saying, like everything is intention. We're going to eat with intention. We're going to talk with intention. We're going to set up our prayers time as all of it is going to be as intention because that's the way that we want it to be. So that is the way that we're going to do it. So that's the dream session. That's one thing that you could do, and you can make that and put it up under your pillow. The same herbs, you could go ahead and take the same thing, let it dry out. And I wouldn't necessarily say do it while it's in the fresh state because it's gonna pop everywhere, because it still has the moisture content. So I would say let it dry. Just let it sit out for a couple of days. It's cold, you got your heater on, it's probably dry out much faster, right? If not, you could yeah, you gotta dehydrate or whatever. But just it's herbs. You could just let it hang and it'll dry out after a couple of days. You just let it hang up in your house. You can also do an alternative, like I've been saying, both of these herbs that you can burn them because they are alternatives to sage. You don't always have to use sage, and sage has its own purpose as well. So you can for that, then you might want to go ahead and burn something else. You could also make a smudge bundle out of rosemary and bay leaf because this is what you could do that as well. So I know if you want to do that, you would just dry it. Okay, take a sprig of the rosemary and then your bay leaf, and then you take like a piece of natural twine. All right. So it doesn't necessarily not saying this regular string, but the twine. They have it in Dollar Tree. You ain't gotta spend a whole lot on it. You take that and then you're gonna wrap it around it. Okay. Make sure that when you are smoking or smudging that you got your windows open and that you are moving, from back to front, that you're getting all in your corners, you're covering your whole area, okay? So again, when it comes to these things, I'm talking about making us a bundle, because you have to remember that it's all about cleanliness as well. So and that's one of the things too. I really believe that when I began my spiritual journey, it made me want to look at my environment different because it's like, okay, oh, hey, that sounds good. Okay, all right. So I'm reading comments. So Monica, don't distract me. So it's like so it's one you could. I forgot what I was saying because she started talking about food in the comments. But it's one of those great. Oh, and another thing I want you to notice as well. I don't when you were seeing me, I know I did it with the sage. I burnt some sage today. I don't use a whole lot, okay, because that is one thing is when it comes to the reverence of the plant, you do want to make sure that you're not being wasteful of the plant, okay. So when I say that is it's not necessary to light your entire sage bundle. It's not necessary that you have to take your whole a handful of bay leaves and burn them, or all of your rosemary and burn it. You don't. It's not necessary. When I do my sage, I might just peel off a leaf or two, and I like to get the loose one, and I'll burn it a little bit. So I'll even take this and just wrap it around because it's not necessary for you to use everything that you have because again, if it's ancestral, they didn't have a lot to waste. They didn't have a lot to just to devote toward certain things, especially these are edible herbs. So you want to also honor the plant by not wasting the plant because even with the sage, its sage is getting popular. It's very oversourced. So you want to make sure that you are still um giving honor and reverence to the earth that is giving us that has literally given us everything that we have, everything to have. So that's pretty much what we have and say on the episode of mystical herbs. Um, I would, and I've already talked to the plants before, what I needed them to do, and I believe they did do that today. So I am thankful for that. But when you're finished working with your herbs and when you're finished with them, I always thank the plants. I thank them for their service, and give them the permission to release and to rest. So I do give gratitude to the plants and the shared space for the herbs and the tools and awareness and protection, as well as the care. Because when herbs are used intentionally, they support our whole being, both physical, mental, as well as spiritual. So I wanted to go ahead and thank and close with that, and I thank y'all for tuning in. Oh, I'm gonna give any questions if I have any questions before I pack up and head out for the night. I am pretty much finished decorating. I just have a few things I want to do before I show everything and show y'all. I probably need some help too on my decorating, but I just want anybody have any questions before I go ahead and end the live. But I do thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for your encouragement, for your interaction, the comments. I thank y'all for all of that, and it's only going to get better. And I do enjoy you all, and I thank y'all. Peace. Oh, Monica, I'm gonna call you when I'm on my way home. Bye. See you.